Hi, this is Mary Beth with Kids Everywhere, and this is a video telling you how to use our scanning computer system. I am going to teach you today how to do the point of sale scanning for the Kids Everywhere sale. So the first thing you're going to do is the customer's going to come up and bring you a basket with their items. They may have a stroller, they may have bags. We are not allowed to let the customer help us other than holding the bags open to let us put the items in. We have started, they are allowed to use their own bags if they want to bring them, or we can put everything back in their wagon. It does not have to be bagged or tied like previously. You'll take items and put them on the table. You don't have to count them. You don't have to pull the tags like we used to. The baskets we will put down and give back to the customer so that they can return them back to the front when they go check out and pay. So you've got your items, and all you need to do, you take your scanner. It's attached to a cord. You have to plug it back in when you're done so that it will charge. But you unplug the scanner. If you have clothes, you hang them back here so that they're out of the way. It makes it easier to slide them out of the way and know which ones you've scanned and which ones you haven't. We've placed green buckets below the tables so that as you scan, you can scan it. What you're going to do is look at the computer and make sure it's on and ready to go. There are no lines that you have to worry about or anything you have to click on to get started. Most of the scanners, if they haven't been used for the day, you have to push it twice to get it to start. So you'll key it, and that means you've turned your scanner on. And you're going to, and when you scan it, it's going to read to you the consignor number and the price. You can hear that and know that what you scanned is correct. You put it in the green bucket. And then you do the same to the next thing. So, and you can turn the computer up and down if you need to, if you can't hear it very well. Or if the person next to you, you're listening to theirs, you can ask them to turn it down a little. Once you do that, you have clothes. Some people will bring you a whole rack of clothes like this. They can pull the cart up here. You don't have to move them all. You can use theirs and just do them on their rack instead of having to move them all twice. So to scan the clothes, you scan it. When you squeeze it, most of them will vibrate. They always vibrate. It doesn't matter if it captures it or not. So you have to hear it say it and hear it say the consignor number and the price. And you want to check your screen and you can actually physically see it. Even though it feels like it takes a long time, it's still so much faster than the way we used to do it. So customers don't mind. They want it right, the consignors want it right. So if I had a whole bunch of stuff here, I would scan it, slide that item, scan, slide, scan, slide. That way, if somebody talks to you or the customer has a question, you know where you are, which ones you've scanned, which ones you haven't. Use the system that makes sense to you. Doesn't matter which way you slide them, but just so you know what you have done and what hasn't been done. Because the key is to get every item. You're going to want to check their stroller, their children, to see if they're holding any items. You're going to want to check any bags, anything that looks like it might be able to carry something. The other thing you also want to do is double check that the stroller that they're pushing is theirs and not one they're purchasing, that you'll need to scan. And each of the strollers should have a tag on them, a yellow tag that says this item is not paid for. You cut that item off after you scan it, and you can put it in these white buckets, and we'll collect them at the end of the night. We do that so that we can tell whose strollers they are. As you put everything out on the table, ask the customer to please open any DVDs or puzzles or games, anything that they or you might be concerned if it has all of the pieces or if it's in a good condition. You want to check those DVDs and CDs before they go out the door to make sure they're going to work, they're not broken or have scratches on them. We have batteries in the holds desk across the way if you need to test anything. Most people put batteries in their items, but every once in a while one is missed, and if you want to make sure it works beforehand, they can get batteries to put in it, because all sales are final, so we want to do all that before we ring them up. We don't have to go back and do the voids. If the customer walks up and has a pink card with a tag on it, that means they have a hold item. They may have it with them, it may be over in holds, and they may have to collect it. When you get that tag, you ask them, did you have this item with you, or do you need to get this item? They'll tell you. You're going to ring this item up, and on your receipt, you need to find that item and put a star by the price, so that when the item gets to the cashier, they know that item has been paid for, they can mark it paid, and they will ask the customer also, do you have this item or do you need to pick it up? And they will explain to them how to pick it up. But they need to see that it's been rung up to be paid for, so that they can mark that paid. The cashier will stamp the receipt paid and the pink card paid, so there's no question. Some people might come in and say, I have a paid hold. Paid holds are kept in the back room. There's a big sign that says paid holds. They may have bought it the day before, they came back, they shopped today because they couldn't take it home with them last night, and they'll say, I've already paid for this, I just need to pick it up. They'll have a pink card that's marked paid and their receipt. But that way you know where paid holds are, and we can get whoever's working in holds to grab it and take it to the door for them. Or they can go ask them to pick it up. So you know where those are. If you're ringing up a customer and they decide they don't want something, as soon as they say they don't like it, you ask them to please take it to the bins up front that say to be put back, if you haven't scanned it. If you have scanned it, all you need to do on the computer is hit the red X at the end of the line that is that item. It will take it off, and then you ask them to go put it in that bin. It gives them time to do that while you're ringing up their other items, and it doesn't put it back here so you accidentally send it home with someone else or it gets lost. It gets put back where it belongs so that it will sell to somebody else. We have IKEA bags that are here. They're $2 that you can ring up. You can ask people, especially if they don't have their own bags or they don't want to use the plastic bags. They're welcome to buy these for $2. We have lots of them. You will have some items that come in that have the old tags on them that do not have the scan bars, or you'll have items where the QR code is not scannable for printing reasons or somebody wrote over it or something like that. Those items, if you can't get it to scan, you set it off in a pile to the side. And a lot of times what I'll do is when I'm all done, I'll go back to that pile and try to scan one more time if it has a QR code. If not, all you need to do is on your computer, there is a red button that says New Line for Manual Entry. You'll push that button, it will show you the place to put the consignor code, and then you will tab. You put in the price with no decimal point, tab, and then whatever the word is underneath the price, whether it's black, green, or red, you choose that from the drop-down menu and tab, and then you enter. That enters that item manually. To enter your manual items, you have to hit the red button for every single item. It will not stay open and print you another line. When you scan an item and it comes up and it says that it is $8 and the tag says, no, it's $6, you have to go with whatever it scans at. You're not able to change the prices on the tags, the handwritten prices. You can't change something that's been scribbled out and says 6 now instead of 8. If the consignor wants to change the price on it, they have to print a new tag. So you might have to explain to the customer, I'm really sorry, we cannot go by the written price, we have to go by the printed price, so that we know the consignor's getting what they wanted for that item. At that time, they can decide if they want that item or don't want that item. We do need to explain sometimes about the colors to the customers, especially the public customers, the black, the red, and the green colors. Those will come into play at the end of the sale when we have discount days. The red items never change, And a lot of people don't understand that. That seems to be the most confusing one. The green will go at half price at some time. The blacks at the very last day will go to 75% off. You don't go by the ink color, you go by the word that is printed underneath the price on the tag. You don't go by the tag color. It's going to say in parentheses, black, green, or red. So the main thing is the red ones don't ever get discounted, and you will have people, especially on discount days, when you tell them this is red, it's not I'm sorry, red's not discounted, they're not going to want that item most of the time. So, which is fine. We just need to exit out of the line out of the computer and have them put it up front so that it doesn't get mixed up or lost, so somebody else can buy it if they'd like to. If you have a tag where the red is clearly indicated as red, and for some reason when you scan it, it says something else, make sure you change the drop-down menu to red, because it clearly says red, and that is what the customer is expecting is red, and that shouldn't be a problem with the customer. At the bottom of the screen is a checkbox for the volunteer consignor discount. As a volunteer and consignor, you get the discount the day before the public does. So the computer cannot tell who gets the discount and who doesn't. So we wristband our consignors and our volunteers on the days they get the discount that nobody else does. So when they walk up to you, you need to ask them, are you a consignor or a volunteer? Or you'll see their wristband, and you do that checkbox. When you scan the items, it will still read the consignor number and the price, the full price, but the computer will show you the discounted price. Sometimes the customers go, but that was only $1, not $2. You just explain to them that the computer does the calculations, it just reads what it reads off the tag, but that you are getting your discount, and you can even show them the screen if they really want to. But it's going to read that full price. That only happens on once the discount days start, though. You don't have to worry about that at all until the last weekend. So when you are all done and have all of your items, there's a green process button on the screen. You use your mouse, you hit process. It's going to bring up a screen that asks about printing a receipt. You print the receipt, and it's going to bring up another screen which will generate your receipt. Physically, you will be able to see it. Do not hit print until you physically see that receipt on the side, because until it generates that, it will not print it. If you print before you generate, you're going to end up with a blank receipt, which is what the computer sees on the screen. When you get your receipt, you're going to want to circle the total amount at the bottom. You're going to want to write your name at the top, not your initials, put your first name at the top, and then write the grand total at the top of the receipt. This helps the cashiers because sometimes our ink ribbons run low and they're light, and we know whose ribbons to change. And it's also sometimes really hard to see over by the door. So if you write that at the top, they're not trying to get out a magnifying glass to see what that says. So that helps them. A lot of times I will print the receipt and then I will start bagging, because sometimes if they have a really long receipt, you don't want to stand here and just watch it print. So you can hit process, hit print receipt, hit print, and then start bagging their items. At that time, I usually ask them, do you have your own bags, or would you like me to use bags? Or would you just like to take it in your basket if they have their own basket or their wagon? Some people will just want it all stacked in the wagon so they can take it and put it in the car, which is fine. As long as everything's paid for and you've taken everything out of their wagon, you may put things back in their wagon. You're going to have customers, especially consignors, volunteers, who are going to want to help you because they've been on your side before, and you just say as politely as you can, thank you so much for offering to help me, but I can do it. If I need your help, I'll let you know, or whatever you feel comfortable saying to that person so that they feel comfortable. As a scanner, you are the customer service person for the sale. So you want to use your best customer service, be as helpful as possible, be as professional as possible. Try not to talk about other sales. In the event that a customer says, oh, we forgot this item and you have already printed, all you need to do is ring that item up just like you did the first ones, process, print receipt, let it generate and print. Take that receipt. The first receipt you will write 1 of 2. The second receipt you will write 2 of 2. You will add those together. You may use your brain or your phone, whatever you need, and write the grand total at the top so that the cashier knows that you have added them together. You will also still circle it at the bottom and all the regular things with your name at the top. But go ahead and add those together because sometimes the cashiers get really backed up and it's really helpful if they already have the grand total. If you have more than 2 receipts, do the same way, just 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3. Some customers want separate receipts for different items because they're shopping for someone else and they want to know how much that person owes them, but they'll pay for it all at once. So just how many ever receipts you have, you do that process and that makes sure everything gets paid for. We do also ask that you limit your cell phone use while you're scanning and working. So unless it's an emergency, we really ask you not to use your cell phones. When you start bagging items, all of your clothing items you will take in small amounts, keep the hangers on them, roll them up in thirds and put them in the bag. Some people will ask us to remove all the hangers and we tell them we can't do that for them, we're sorry. They're welcome to do it if they want to, but we do not have time to sit and undo everything and take all the hangers off. When you're all completely done, you give the receipt to your customer. You put their bag back in the white bucket so that they can take the bucket up front for you and leave it right by the cashiers. You tell them thank you, have a great day, whatever feels good. Tell them that they need to proceed to the cash register, which is up by the front door, and please watch them walk up and get in that line just so you know they know where they are going, because sometimes it can be confusing, especially when there's a lot of people. And right now we have 3 cash registers and 3 credit card machines, so it shouldn't be too slow. Everything that you scan goes into the computer and into the system. If you make a mistake, you can get Gail, myself, Mary Beth, or Jessica to help you with the computer. Don't ever throw a receipt away. Don't attempt to do a void on your own, anything like that, because it adjusts the money that we give to the consignors, and we don't want to mess up their totals. So if you have a problem and something scans wrong, all you have to do is holler and one of us can help you, but please, please never throw a receipt away. And most of the time we can keep you from having to restart your whole transaction. If an item is missing a tag, the only thing we can do is ask the customer to check at the holds counter. That is where the lost tags are. We cannot sell any item that does not have a tag on it because we do not know who to give the consignor money to. So if they want to go look for the tag, that's great. If not, it will go to holds when you're done. You can make a separate pile under your table out of the way of anything that needs to go to holds, and we'll try and get that done in between when it's busy, because we don't want it to end up to be put back because it doesn't have a tag on it. So it does need to go to the missing tag section. When the customer comes back, they're either going to have the tag or not have its tag. They are going to want to buy that item even without the tag. You just need to graciously explain, I'm really sorry, we don't know who to give the money to. And it's not ours to sell, it belongs to somebody else. Just be as gracious as you can and tell them you're really sorry and just put the item away. They can, if they so desire, take that item to holds, put their name and phone number on it, and when the consignors come back and pick up their items and claim their missing tag items, the consignor at that time can call that person and say, hey, I found my item, it didn't have a tag on it, I'm sorry, did you still want it? Because there will be a few items that somebody really, really wants. Most of the time it's gonna be, no, that's okay, I don't need it. But there's gonna be some items some people really, really want. So they're gonna do whatever they can to make that happen. They'll be waiting for that call. So we try and make it as easy as possible. During the down times, We need to take any hampers that didn't go up front, because sometimes people just don't have a way to take them with them, or sometimes you forget to ask. You stack them under the table. We collect those. We can do putbacks, but before you leave the checkout area, you need to let one of us know so we know where to find you. So in case it gets busy, we can bring you back to checkout. We do putbacks. If you don't have anything else to do, if your area is straightened up and all the putbacks are done, you can ask one of us and we can send you to straighten in the aisles or whatever we need to do at that time. Depends on the time of day and how busy it is. If for some reason you've already started a transaction and the computer stops working, you have a question, you don't understand something, the customer has a question, please ask for help. You can talk to Gail, you can talk to me. There are pink sheets of paper that give all of your instructions that you'll read when you come in before you start your shift. They have my phone number and Gail's phone number at the bottom. So if you can't physically see us, you can still get us if you need help. We do not mind one bit. We will come running. Well, I think that gives you a rundown of all of the scanning procedures. Thank you so much for volunteering. We appreciate you working with kids everywhere. We really love this sale and we hope you do, and we will see you soon.